Rogers, the CEO of Local Motors.
Yes.
Local Motors produce open source car. What is an open source car, would you say?
An open source car is one that shares the data associated with the development, the making, and the service of the car.
Yeah, so it's basically the idea that you can produce a car designed by people who are online, kind of community of people. Is it changing all the way we manufacture or today cars, would you say?
I think it has the potential to do that. What it really has the potential to do is allows us to advance technology faster in cars. By making it open source, it doesn't mean that you don't use proprietary technology. It just means that you choose where you're going to use the proprietary technology and where you are going to make something an open standard. And so the way we look at it is, there are many things developed in a car, since it's such a user of complex devices and so many of them, that you don't need to have every part of the car be open source. What you want is you want the architecture of the car to be open source, so that people know the standards or the parameters of those things that are intellectually protected, and then they say, well, at least I know that it has 3 bolts that go together and they need to be of this strength, and then I can use that widget for whatever it does. So open source is about making it possible to engage all of the technology, both protected or open, together in a car to make it work and function and be safe and of quality.
What you said is that if Henry Ford would have had Twitter and the internet, he would have designed and make cars differently.
Very much.
Okay.
Yes.
Does it mean that you also mentioned that it specifically fits for very low volumes production? And you mentioned the example of Domino's Pizza was using the kind of tool you are providing.
That's correct.
To design its own fleet of cars.
That's
which
right.
are designed specific for Domino's Pizza.
That's correct.
How large will this move become? Are we going to see less and less standardized cars on the roads?
I think
and
so.
more of those?
I think so. I think what you find is if you can make a reliable car that is in a unit of 200 to 5,000, let's say, and you can make it with as little enough capital that you could do that again and again and again, then I think what you'll find is that it will be at aggregations of many niches of vehicles that run on some standard components and others of them on components that are specific to that car, and they will become well known and well used.
You said also that this way to produce open source, like in the software industry, that's something we have experienced. It's five times faster and 100 times less expensive. Also.
And the trade-off is that you can't make millions of them. So the idea, 5 times faster and 100 times less expensive in order to be able to make thousands of them. And that is really the trade-off. And I believe that today's world for cars, that is a good model for us, that we can make niche relevant vehicles that can solve the problems of a gender or a geography or a temperature gradient or a particular usage or a corporate mission or an individual style choice from a group of people that like a specific kind of vehicle, and then you remake the parts of the cars that are necessary, and the other parts that are not necessary for change, you use standard components.
Should the Volvos and General Motors and Toyotas be scared of what is happening?
I don't think so. I think that really it's the way the industry has grown that says, is there a business model for them to have in the future? Every company needs to grapple with that issue. Every company today fights for what is the future of their business. And I think that the large car companies have a robust business, but I think there are certain parts of what they do today that will probably change. So they shouldn't be scared. I think they should embrace the change. And I think many of those companies you see trying to force mass customization. So they'll say, well, I make a car and I want to make that car relevant to all different kinds of niches, and that is hard to do. So maybe a little less effort in that and a little bit more in making cars that are fit for the mass that they're trying to make. I don't see the large car companies going out of business. I see them changing the way in which they do business.
One part of your business model is to build up micro factories.
Yes.
For small volumes. You see hundreds of them appearing in the coming years.
That's right.
It sounds like the future of manufacturing, is it?
It is. I think it is. I think what we found is, again, I said if Henry Ford had Twitter and the internet, effectively with the revolution in small-scale digital manufacturing, whether it's additive or whether it's subtractive manufacturing, the ability to be able to pass a file around and allow it to be able to be manufactured in distant locations is truly changing the way in which we think about manufacturing. And also, to be fair, the ability to be able to ship parts around and say, I need this right now, tomorrow, to be able to have 100 of them. That just wasn't available in Ford's time. So today I can make something or I can buy something and know the specifications of them digitally. I can model those things and I can then put them together virtually or put them together physically in a much faster period of time. That means that as a customer, I can ask for different stuff, which means that the change will always be more and faster. And I think it's going to change the way that we look at automotive.
Not only automotive, in industry.
Very
like
much. It's going to change the way that we look at every industry where hardware, complex hardware, is put together, where there's a great deal of customer variability.